good Hollywood movie. And this concept has been picked up and cloned all the way around the planet. And so we get messages from people, I'm sure George does as well, saying, hey, you know, I'm in the Paris ground crew, or I'm in the Argentine ground crew, or I'm in the New Zealand ground crew. And these people are declaring themselves to be ground crew all over the place. And I think you've even got ground crew on the badges here. So we've introduced a new term into the English language here. We'll have a Wikipedia page soon.
Well,
you know.
yeah, and thanks to George again. But it's also, we have been invited, these spontaneous conferences are being sprouted up all over Europe, as you might have heard, and we did one in Amsterdam recently. They organized it in a week's time, believe it or not. They had 200 plus people, if I remember. And we are now invited to Poland. Bill was invited just recently. I wasn't able to make it. They couldn't afford to fly me, but we're now going back. And then Brussels as well. Brussels Ground Crew is putting on something in Brussels. So it's really exciting. It's like a grassroots movement, what we've got going on here. And we're going to change the world.
And we have George to thank for this. George, come on up.
Thanks.
Oh, okay. Here's a wonderful man. Okay, so George is an amazing speaker, and you just don't want to miss a word. Okay, so are you hooked up here? Can we hear you?
I don't know. Yes.
Okay.
Everybody
It
hears
works.
So we're going to abandon the stage. We love to talk, and you do too, so there can't be 3 talkers at once here. So anyway, enjoy. This is George Green.
Before we begin, I would like everybody to just kind of quietly close your eyes for a second. And I want to demand that all dark energies leave our space. And also I want to invite my unseen friends to be in contact with all of you. There's a little prayer that's in the book, as you know, is, I am a human becoming, help me become. And as the ground crews are growing all over the planet, we are humans becoming, help us become. Thank you. I'm going to try to bring this up because they're only giving me a few minutes to talk about things today, and I will be around to go on to bring you up to date and to look at the world for what's occurring right now as of yesterday and the day before. This will be my update, if I call it, for the 2009, and the reason is in the next few weeks or days or hours, things are going to be happening to us. And believe it or not, they put it in black and white. I got this 2 days ago from some company called Bank of America. It's notifying me that anybody that goes overseas right now, if you go on the credit cards, there's going to be a 45% surcharge. I've got the documents. You can look them yourself. This is on all the cards. They're not accepting American Express in some places right now. To give you an idea, if you go to Europe, as you probably know, and I know Carrie and Bill have just been there, they won't take the dollar anymore. But I'm going to repeat, I got this yesterday from Hong Kong. I can't even exchange a $100 bill on the street here anymore. Most of the street money changers will take euros, Singapore dollars, even Chinese yuan. But fearful of losing their shirt with sinking exchange rate, they don't want the US dollar. That should give you an idea. It says, not long ago, I never traveled without my American Express card. Now it sits in my office safe. The world money is being changed drastically in the positions. This week, we've got a lot of anniversaries coming up. September 15th is the day FDIC ran out of money. We have 94 banks that have gone under this year, and they're not talking about another 100 that are ready for it. The FDIC, of course, has the ability now to borrow from the government in order to offset the banks. That's to keep you guys totally asleep and very happy with what's going on. Cash itself is being monitored at all banks. If you go withdraw over 2,500 or more, you may have to fill out a form. So they're notifying. My friends in Panama have notified me that Homeland Security is going over all bank accounts down there. If you're connected as an American, and if you haven't reported your deposit down there, they're seizing the money and then you're considered a terrorist. They're starting to do that in all countries that have anything to do with the exchange system. The Bank of International Settlements, which is the 13 families in Switzerland, have got permission to audit the Federal Reserve. I don't know what good that's going to do because it's the old story. Figures don't lie, but liars figure. We have a problem in the United States drastically. I just told you that the 15th FDIC went up. What happens on the 22nd of this month? Have any idea? It's the equinox. What does it begin? The fall. Historically, the fall begins in October. I've said this before, the stock market, which is being manipulated by the Plunge Committee, and they tell you that in the news if you listen to it, they're moving the stocks up in order to create the illusion that it's growing. Stock market has nothing to do with business. As you know, I was an underwriter and a securities principal. And as I did this, I learned the game of monopoly in a big way from the stock market, and it's just a way to take money. It's kind of like, I'm a stock salesman. I got to convince all of you people to buy stock in something because that's going to make you rich. Well, the next step down is you don't have time enough, so we're going to manage your money. We're going to put it in a mutual fund. Well, you don't. Mutual fund owns stocks, but you don't. Mutual funds have no voting rights. Of the stocks in the United States right now that are being traded, basically 60% of them are controlled by investment trusts or mutual funds, which don't have any value to even vote for what the company's supposed to do. One man, David Rockefeller, owns 4.5% of 90% of the world's corporations, and he has voting control, to give you an idea. So you're playing with a real interesting group of people because, as they knew, Rockefeller basically was backing Obama when they first come out. I publicly have said that before. So it's an inner group will set everything up on the whole planet as they're doing things. Now we've had some also interesting meetings, and I'll bring this up for you in the perspective, because you ought to know about this. The problem in the United States, as you know, we've got half of the population over 50. Do you have any idea what the average weight of women is across the United States? Believe it or not, this was in Forbes magazine. The average weight of a woman in the United States right now is 163 pounds. That means you're vertically challenged. You're too short for your weight. The problem is, again, where is that contained? It's mostly fat within the body. Fats, and I cut up a lot of animals, as you probably know. My dad owned a slaughterhouse. Only diseases we saw were in the fat. It's not in the muscle. So as we get a generation right now, people are getting sick more because the fats retain all of the junk that you take, all of the environmental poisons that are introduced into your body, whether it's through the water supply, through rat poison, i.e. fluoride, or through or equal aspartame, all of these poisons that are down out here because you're going to diet. And die is the word that you look at. And most of the things in the systems and the religions are all telling you have to die to be saved. Well, that isn't the way it works. We're in a program of the ground to awaken you up, to empower you right now, to give you the ability to assist with assistance from off planet, because we can't do it ourselves. When I found out what was going on, when they asked me to be in the inner circle up there about what their plans are, the Plan 2000, I was astounded, but it made logical sense. The universe is logical. Mysterious maybe, don't make it mystical. Here's the situation. The planet itself is increasing by 250,000 people a day. It's 2.5 million every 10 days. We don't have enough resources. They're telling you that. Mexico last week just declared they got 2 more years of oil. The United States is not drilling any new wells. It'll take 3 to 5 years for the new equipment, and the average cost is getting closer to $1 billion to do a drill. They shut down because of the EPA and the cost of everything. All